Hi, my name is Trevor Cutmore. Welcome to my YouTube, and for the next few episodes on my YouTube channel, I'm going to be talking to you about our experience as a family with Rich House Poor House that we featured on 21st of March on Channel 5. And just to give you, people who are interested, a little bit of background, and also each video I'll tell you a little bit about what I do. So on to Friday, our penultimate day, our last full day if you like, and then we're going home. How much is left in the budget? Not much, because we expensed some the coffee that we had with Vanessa in Birmingham. I paid for that. So that was sort of my budget going right down, and we had enough. I had something like £2.80 left, and I think it was something like £2.81. But we went down to the beach in Skegness, and we went down there. We went for a walk on the beach, and I did some filming on the beach. I got some photos here, but they asked us to play tag on the beach, and I have to say, I don't think I've laughed as much. It was the funniest thing. We had this bobble hat with a pink bobble on, and Marie's trying to catch either Joy or myself, and she's running, and I'm running around in a circle, and honestly I can't breathe because I'm laughing so much, because the way Marie runs and this bobble thing was going all over the place. Joy and I, we just had, I think Marie was laughing as well, or wondering what we were laughing at, but it was the funniest thing, and it warmed us up. But honestly, Joy was so cold. They were trying to get her to speak and she couldn't. She just sort of hibernated within her hat and her coat. But we went back up to where the arcades are and everything. There was one little place open for coffee and chips. So we had got chips. I got one portion of chips, which was whatever it was, £1, £2 something or whatever. And I didn't have enough. I think I had something like 81 pence for a £1.20 coffee, something like that. And I offered this lady, I said, look, is there any way I can get a coffee? I've only got 81 pence, but my wife would love a coffee. And she said, go on then. And I got a coffee. So when I went back with the chips to Marie and Joy, they were just on the promenade, and we shared these chips and we had a coffee. And that was a very nice date. And it cost us pretty much nothing, £2.80. It was great. So it was a really good time, and it showed us that we can have such good fun with nothing really. So that was nice. We really enjoyed that, and we've done that again since with our son, his partner and baby, and that's been really fun. So we will be doing a bit more of that, perhaps when the weather gets a little bit warmer. We'll do it in shorts as opposed to with our jackets on, scarves and hats. So again, we've come back, we've had dinner. I think I made dinner with what I had left. I had a lot of food, so I made lots of different foods for the crew. One of the ladies, Ellie, was a vegan, and so I made little things for her. The rice and things were completely separate, and she appreciated that. And really just having a nice time. I have to say, I think we had a television on once the whole time we were there, and we didn't even watch it. And so, we were just busy all the time. Did our Lucam on, what did you think? What do you think of that? But there was one other thing we did on that night, and it really did affect me, and that was Marie and Joy came to me and they said, Trevor, what do you think about the... and they said, Trevor, we feel like we don't appreciate you, and we want to set this little game up, this little golf game in the kitchen. So it's a lino floor, and they had my golf club and a golf ball, and we made 3 little holes with beans, tins of beans and things. And it was ever so funny because Marie did it in something like 11 shots. Joy did it in about 5 shots. And I took like 27 shots, and we're just laughing because when you knock it down, because of the contours of the floor, the ball was going everywhere. But when I tried to do the Lucam, I really sort of choked up, and that was a difficult one. But the last thing I would say, which I can't remember which day it was, but one of the chores that we had to do cleaning. And it's quite funny because Joy says, we're not very good at it because Mum hasn't taught us on the programme. That's not strictly true. I've done cleaning. I was a chef for 25 years. I've scrubbed floors. I've done everything, toilets, a lot. And clean kitchens at the grease you wouldn't believe. Honestly, I've done a lot. In the house, I don't, because we do just have this agreement that Marie takes after the house. It's just how we work together, and there's nothing sexist about it. Marie's happy. If she wants me to do, if she came to me and said, Trevor, I can't do this, can you clean the toilet? Well, I'll do it. I've got no problem with that. But I think it can come across as chauvinistic or sexist or whatever, but it's not. It's something that we have agreed, and we do. And I do the cooking. When we have a dinner party, I do all the cooking. Marie takes care. She says, you cook, I clean. She says, I hate cooking. Do you see? So if it was the other way around, I'd clean. It's not an issue. But it had me there, and it didn't really show. But when I clean, I'm scrubbing everything. I'm right down behind. I clean all of the ledges and everything. So again, we felt that the crew really wanted to use the cleaning part as something to really push. But it wasn't a huge issue, and we don't have an issue between us with it. It's just that I spend a lot of time, as I said, the deals that I work on in property. And again, if you haven't seen anything else that I do, the property, if you want to know more, I've got a webinar coming up. I have courses, and I do mentorship. Leslie and I do mentorship. I can tell you, one of my mentees yesterday got his first property while being with me, and that's 5 weeks in, I think he is, and that's him buying a flat. I actually spoke to the agents yesterday on his behalf, because it's an apartment with a short lease. Someone had died, so it's called a probate property, so there's beneficiaries who have inherited it. In order to there's 57 years left on the lease. If you want to extend it, you have to do what's called served notice, section 42 notice, to the freeholder. So if you ever have a flat, you will know it's a leasehold, normally 99 years, 125 years. Some of them can be 900 and odd years, but normally 99, 125. When that starts clicking down, especially when you get below 80, 70, you won't get a mortgage on it. The mortgage companies just don't want to put mortgage because your value is decreasing. If it gets down to zero, it goes back to the freeholder. So someone sits there who owns the land, and they created the lease. When that runs out, it goes back to them. So people need to extend the lease. So the section 42 notice is served by the leaseholder, the person who owns the lease, served on to the freeholder, and it's in law that when that's there, the freeholder has to give a 90-year extension. However, there are legal fees that the freeholder has, and there's a survey that the freeholder has to pay for. Now, whoever serves that notice has to pay for that. So these people who are selling the flat, they said they don't want to serve the Section 42 notice. But if you buy it with a short lease and you haven't got the notice served by the previous owners, then you have to wait 2 years before you can serve that notice. And that means that would come down to 55 years. It's going to be more expensive. Now, to extend the lease, you're probably looking at about £30,000 it's going to cost. So when I spoke to the agents yesterday, I said, look, I understand that the beneficiaries, who are the owners, do not want to serve the notice. Would they serve it on exchange of contracts? So that means at the point that we're just about to exchange contracts, that they would sign to serve the notice, and that now would transfer to the new buyer so they can get the extended lease. It's really good stuff. He's really pleased. I'm really pleased that I managed to help him. He's got a really good deal. This property will be worth enough that I don't think he'll have any of his own money left in once he comes to refinance, when he gets a new lease, done a little bit of work on it. And if he wanted to sell it, he'd make a significant amount of money, but I think he's going to keep it and rent it out, and I think it'd be a really good one for him. So that's exciting. If you want to know more, please email me. Watch out for my webinar details, and I'll give you, I think we've got 1 or 2 more videos to go on this subject. Bless you.
I had a feeling you'd come back and save me from all those lonely